And the only other minister that really got behind what I was doing was Reverend Ari Price.
What you say?
And then I come over here and he said, oh, I know him.
Yeah.
And so we've got to make some changes for our children. And when I heard about that, and my 12 on, I said to myself, God, I'm still not doing enough. You know, when you see that we're losing our children's life, you got to be saying, I'm not doing enough. So I said, what else can I do to try to make sure that the talent that you've given me, I can share with our children? Right. And he said, you can take what you're doing even lower than the 3rd, 4th grade. I said, okay, tell me. Because I'm in the sleep. So I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning when my wife is asleep, my kids are sleeping, and then God just started talking. Right. And I learned that in order for you to be able to hear God, you got to stop talking.
That's it. Yes.
And y'all know how I talk about it. So for a long time, I wake up and God wouldn't get a chance to tell me nothing. I was talking the whole night. So now I'm listening. And he said, here's what you can do. He said, you can take kindergartens, and I'm trying to do something now with Mr. Albert Black. He's want me to do something with Head Start. Yeah. So he said, you can start taking kindergartens and start teaching them algebra 1.
Wow.
Algebra 1.
And I said, okay, you got to tell me, because people are already thinking I'm crazy, telling me I can teach 3rd and 4th grade. Right. Now you telling me kindergartners? He said, look at this. He said, you take a kid in the kindergarten, and you have him to walk up some steps. See, now you make it real for him. Right. You have him to walk up some steps. That's a positive slope. Then you have him to walk down the steps. That's a negative slope. Then when you get to the bottom, it's flat. Yeah. It's a horizontal line. It has a slope of 0. Right. How old do you have to be? Then you take that part, Because see, one of the things I want to do is I'm not taking what I have to this land and without leaving it for other people to help their kids. Right. You know, I'm not going to be that selfish. Yeah. You know, because God didn't give it for me to end up back with him and saying, what'd you do when I gave you? Right. So I want to empower parents at the same time to show them how you can take your child and start early teaching your child, because now you tell the kid understands that a straight line is y equals mx plus b. All right. Okay? Then once he understands that, you can say, son, would you just say, look at that telephone pole. Then the kid recognizes and realizes this is a straight line. Then you say, what's the equation for that telephone pole? Mon y mx plus b. You're exactly right. Okay? So that's a lot. Now I want to show you something up here. I want to show you why I can make things easy for our children, because I always give God credit. So as long as I keep giving him credit, he's going to keep putting some more things in my mind. That's the problem right there. Okay, now show them how to use what all it goes to work it out. You have to do all that to work it out. I'm going to show you how to do it no pencil, no paper. Amen. Okay? Because in order to work that out, you would have to take the 2/3 and multiply it times the 1/3. Then to take the 2/3, multiply it times the negative 15. Right. And then the 3 will go into the 3 one time, so you get the 2 times the 1, you get 2. Right. Then you take the 3 into negative 15, which gives you the 5, and 5 times the 2 is a negative 10. Yeah. And then you take the 10y minus 10y and the 9y, so that way when you add them together, it's just going to give you a minus y. Right. Then you have to take that 2x over there with that other negative 11x, which is going to give you a negative 9x. Now we're going to do it no pencil, no paper. Okay, go back to the problem. Okay, no. Here's what you have to understand, and this is what I try to give our children, is I try to give them a visual thing. That's why I call it no pencil, no paper. Right. Because see, you can focus more when you don't have to write nothing down. Right. Now, and on top of that, don't nobody know if you know what you're doing or not. That's key. Because if the kid is slow and he's struggling in math and he's trying to write something down, and let's say he has a bad handwriting, he's already embarrassed. Right. But now he can look smart just like everybody else. Like he really get it. Right. Then I'm going to make sure that he get it because of the questions that I'm going to ask. So here's what you do. We know, because I teach concepts and I teach test-taking skills. Because in order for our kids to score high on the SAT and ACT, they got to have test-taking skills because it's time. Right, that's right. So notice, on letter A, I got a negative y, a minus y. And they got a minus 21. And I got a minus 4 and a minus 26. So here's the concept. All of the numbers, which is coefficients, I believe in vocabulary, all of the numbers in front of the y are different. Right. They're all different. See? Like anytime you have a variable and it's nothing there, it's a 1. So it means I have a -1, a -21, a -4, and a -26. So guess what? I'm just gonna solve for y. I'm not even concerned about x. Because it does not matter, because it has to be one of those for y. So look, here's what I'm gonna do. So I don't have to even multiply 2/3 times the 3, because that has an x next to it.
Right.
So I multiply the 2/3 times the -15. Now here's what I do, because I'm always a troubleshooter for kids that don't make no mistake, for they won't make a mistake. Where that plus sign is, if I had my pointer, I would say there's a door right there. Okay? Because I've been teaching this so long, the kids will want to take that 2/3 and multiply that times the -9y minus the 11x. But if they understand that plus sign, there's a door there, you stop.
That first, yeah.
You see? So I don't have to go there. Okay?
Yeah.
So look. So now, all I'm going to do is take 3 divides into -15,
Right.
-5.
Right.
-5 times 2 is -10. 10, a -10, and 9 is a -1y. I'm finished. It's 8.
Right.
Let me do it again, because see, I'm an eyes person.
Yeah.
See, when your eyes start crossing up, it means you don't understand. that means I lost you. But you're going to keep acting like you understand, because you're going to try to get your eyes back straight. See, you got to make our kids laugh.
Yeah.
See, that's part of teaching.
Yeah.
Right.
Because when you relax, you can learn.
Right.
But if you come in there sitting in the all like this the whole time for 45 minutes, you're going to lose your mind.
Yeah.
Right? So let me go back again. Let's go real slow so you understand. Okay, because we all up there in age. So here's what's happening. We only going to solve for y.
All right.
Forget about the x. Because I got a 9y. That's all by itself. So that means whatever I get, I got to do that with the 9y. So look, if I take the 2/3, I don't do the 2/3 times the x, because remember, I'm not concerned about the x. So that means I take the 2/3 and times the -15. Now let me score something. Because see, when I'm teaching kids, I'm always thinking about what could I be losing, man. You have to understand that -15 is like over 1.
Over 1. Yeah.
You see, you got to know that -15 is like over 1. So that means that -15 is on the top.
Right. Exactly.
See now, a kid that was struggling, I just fixed it for him.
Right.
So now that means that 3 is on the bottom, gonna go into that -15 on the top. Okay, -5. I take the -5 times the 2 on the outside, which gives me a -10. Well, I already know I'm talking about y. So it means I got a -10y and the 9y. So I take the 9 from the -10 and give me a -1. I'm done, I'm finished. That's what they call me. No pencil, no paper, no calculator.
Right.
Because the more I can get our children to start using their brain, the more they're going to want to use it. Because if you don't use it, you know what they say now? They say now that because of the kid, they're calling it some type of disease now, because the kids are using the texting so much, they can't remember anything. So that part of the side of the brain that is supposed to remember stuff is starting to die. We're in trouble. Now, let's go to the next one. Okay? Now, on the next one, like you said, that's the power right there. Now, show them what it takes to work it out. You got to do all that.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you. You got to take and multiply the 3n times the 5n times the -2.
Right.
Then you got to take that minus sign. It's like a -1 on the outside. You got to do all that. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you how to do that. No pencil, no paper, no calculator.
All right.
Okay? Because I'm teaching concept. Okay, let's go back to the problem. Okay, look. Here's the deal you got to understand. See, I always teach knowledge, because knowledge is what's going to help you have test-taking skills. So if I already told the kid, if you have one n and another n, that means you have to have n to the second. You know, you have to have about an n and then another n. Because I'm multiplying, that means I've already gone over that with the students, because that's part of the knowledge. That's 2 n's, which is going to be n to the second. Now, if it was plus, it would be 1 n plus 1 n would be 2 n.
Right.
But because it's multiplication, you take the power and you add it, so it's like a 1 here and a 1 here, so it's to the second power. So that's the first knowledge that you need to know. So therefore, I just eliminated A. Because I have some n's up there. I guess I'm going to have n to the second.
Well, more than one.
You have more than 1. It's gone.
Right.
Now the other thing is that we're still talking about knowledge because we're talking about the distributed property and we're talking about Paul, which is some things that I would have already explained to the kids, right? So that means where that minus 2 is on the second bracket, you would have to multiply that minus 2 times that minus 1. So that means you're going to have one that does not have a variable. Well, I eliminate B.
Right.
Because B does not have one that does not have a variable. That's test-taking skills. That means you can apply that to any problem.
Right.
So we just eliminated 2 of the choices.
Right.
Okay, now, make this easy for you. Well, since I eliminated 2 of the choices, that means all I have to do is choose between C and D.
Right.
Okay? So now the thing that I noticed is that the C has a 2 on the end. And then the D has a minus 2. Well, if I use the distributive property and multiply all of that out, there's only 2 numbers that I'm going to multiply together where I'm not going to have a variable with it. That's that minus 2 times that negative 1, which is a negative times a negative is a positive. But because that minus is on the outside, that means you have to multiply that minus times everything. So therefore my answer is D. Let me do this again. Eyes. Okay. See, if I had my point, it would be I could exactly show you what I'm doing. But what I was saying is that if you look at that where it has 5n minus 2 and the n minus 1, that means I'm gonna have to take and multiply that minus 2 times that minus 1.
Right.
Well, when I multiply that minus 2 times that minus 1, I don't have a variable. Okay? That's the only thing that I can multiply up there that won't give me a variable. Everything else, if I use a distributive property, when I multiply the 3n times the 2 minus 2, I'm going to get a variable. When I multiply the 3n times the 5n, I'm going to get a variable. When I take and multiply the 5n times the 2 variable, when I multiply the 5n times the minus 1, I'm still have a variable. When I multiply the 2n, the 2 times the n, I still have a variable. So the only word that's not going to be a variable is when I multiply the negative 2 times the negative 1, which is a positive 2, but because it has that negative on the outside, it has to be a negative 2, and I'm finished. Concept, test-taking skills. That's what I bring to the table for our kids. That's what a lot of teachers don't do because they want to take, they want step. Sometimes you lose those kids with all those steps. Because our kids, believe it or not, our kids are so sharp, it is unbelievable. I don't want to say it, but they dumbing our kids down.
Right.
But that's real.
Right.
Because see, they keeping our kids from all this working up here and say, oh, you're doing too much. You can't do all that in your brain. And then so all of a sudden, our kids are buying into that because they go home, Mama, I know how to do the problem, but the teacher told me how to do all the work, and when I do all the work, I get confused. And so I miss the problem. And so now I got a 40 where if I had did it my way, I could maybe got 100. So we got to get our kids, we got to understand that everybody can't teach our children. Everybody can't. Okay, we'll do it now. Because I told Pastor I'm going to try to be obedient because Brother Price used to always say, now, Brother Everett, you can't be going over too much now. See, most people don't like fractions. Okay? Maybe you can't see it, but I'm going to just tell you. See, it's the same concept. Here's the concept. Look. See, I tell kids when you have math, you got to have your highlights. Because if you don't have a highlighter, your eyes will play tricks on you.
Amen.
See, and this is what I use when I talk to our kids. I get them. I say, sometimes ladies, you go to the party and the lights kind of dim, and you see the brother in the corner. You say, who am I going to talk to? And the lights come on. Y'all missed out. Y'all get it. Like the preacher said, y'all figure that out on the way home. See, you got to keep our kids laughing. Okay. So now here's what's happening on this one here. Okay, same thing. We're teaching concept now. Look, if I take and look at A to the second B, look, I'm on the person. It's got 5 in front of it.
Right.
Okay? A to the second B got a 31 in front of it. A to the second B got a 1 in front of it. And then the last one, J, is 15A to the second B. So guess what? I'm just going to solve A to the second B. Forget the rest of them. So I take my highlighter and I go and I underline 15A to the second B. Okay? Then I take my highlighter and I go over and I underline minus 6a to the second b. Okay, you with me?
Right.
Okay, now all you gotta do is this. 5 goes into 15 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. Y'all with me?
Right.
Right.
I got my 9, I got my 9, I got my 9, I got my 9.
Right.
Okay, now. Okay, look, now here I go. 3 goes into negative 6, negative 2. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. 4 from 9
It's 5.
is 5. I'm finished. That's it. It's a concept. When just like the students in the back, that's what happens when I'm in class. When I help our kids, man,
Right.
and they start laughing. Now look, because they understand the concept, I got about 2 more minutes because I saw Pastor look at his watch. See, I'm very observant. See, I play ball, so I have peripheral vision. So I'm looking over realer than you, and I seen pastors try to slip and hide, and they're like this. I got 2 more minutes. Here we go. Okay. See, it would have been the same. Okay, go to the next one because I want to show that. Okay. This right here. Okay, she just showed you. I'll go back and start to show how much you had to work it out. Yeah, you all have to work it out. Now, that was the last problem we did with no pencil, no paper. Okay. So we came down to the 5.
Right.
But if you didn't do like I showed you to do, you gotta do all that work.
Yep.
Right.
Tell me how many kids gonna make mistakes. Get frustrated,
Yeah,
say, forget it, man. I can't, man, this is what I'm gonna miss.
Right. Right.
Not knowing he just missed the other 5 too. Let me go to the next. Okay, go to the next one. Okay, now look. Go show to work it out. Okay. You gotta do all that to work it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
With no pencil, no paper. Go back to the problem. Okay, look. Here's what you gotta understand, because I take more time teaching concepts than moving to the next problem. You see, because that means my philosophy is we write it on your brain before you write it on your paper.
Right.
So I have to make sure I take the time to write it on your brain. So look, the concept was, I'm noticing, look, I got 3xy, I got 38xy, I got a minus 32xy, and I got a minus 38xy. That means all xy, they got all different.
Right.
Okay, so all I need to be concerned is about xy. So when I take my negative 5x times my 7, I get a negative 35xy.
Right.
Okay, so that negative 35xy. So now I can go ahead and do the 7xy and take it away from it, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that negative 4xy and add it to the negative 35xy, so it means I got a negative 39xy.
Right.
I'm going to take 7 from it. Negative 32xy.
Amen.
I'm finished.
Quick.
Now check this out. If the kid really totally understands the concepts that I've taught him and distributed properly, look what happened over here. I could have taken it and looked at the very last and noticed that if I distribute negative 4x times 3, I got to have a negative 12x. She in the back, I already got. She doing me like this. Okay, I understand. It's good. Done. Finished. Okay. This is just a look of what I do.
Right.
Can you imagine if I had your kids, it's breaking stuff down for them?
Right.
This is why I took all those years in the book, because what I'm gonna do in that workshop, I'm gonna show the kids in the book how to use what's in the book. It's just like Pastor talking about the Bible, y'all got the Bible. If you don't never open it, you don't never use it, you know, it's not benefiting you. And if you come, just think if you came every Sunday after Sunday with no Bible book, it don't work. That's why I have to bring value to the book. That's the whole key. Kid has a book. I bring value to the book. Now the book means something to the kid. It means because it's got some information. Because I'm gonna stress when I do this workshop. I'm gonna stress the importance of an education. Child with children. I'm saying, hey, you gotta understand. Like I probably once said, I'm gonna go back and say it. You don't want to be 22, 23, going back home, sleeping in the bunk bed, looking at your baby pictures. You don't want that, so you better get serious. Pastor, I want to let you know I appreciate it because I try to be obedient because even though Pastor Price is not around, his spirit of making sure that you represent him wherever you go.
Right.
And so that's what I try to do. Is I try to represent him, and I try to make sure that I don't step out of line, because y'all pastor is really, your pastor and the pastor over at Friendship Baptist Church, Reverend Turner, really said, brother, we got to do something to help our kids. And I know other pastors, if they got a chance to see what I'm doing, then they would be getting on the bandwagon too. We just got to get more of them to see what I'm doing. And Pastor, I'm going to hold you to your word, because you said you're going to have me go all around the country. That's what I want. And I'm going to close out by saying this. You have got to trust and believe in God. Let me tell you why. I'm 56, but when I was 40, I had a stat too. You know how long time you could go to this, and people be joking, talking, man, you got more. Dang, he got so many TVs. Man, I'm going to see if I can't borrow some from him. But here's what the Holy Spirit told me. He said, I want you to get you some bracelets. He said, get that $2,000. He said, because I'm going to have you speaking in front of thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people. Oh, wow. So I went and got braces at 40. I was about 40-something years old. I had braces. And then, you know what they were saying then? Man, it's time to start pulling teeth. You trying to fix your teeth. So I'm on track. I'm sold for God. I'm sold out. You know, I'll do this if I wasn't getting a dime. Because my victory is going when God says, you did what I asked you to do.
Amen.
And well done, come on in. Because we're going to leave here. I appreciate you.
Amen.
Let's say, man.